636, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Super text line is open, 615-737-9986, 615-737-WWTN. Want to welcome on into the program our grassroots political analyst, Matthew Hurtt. Matthew, always great to have you on. Really slow news day today, Matthew. I don't know what in the world we're going to talk about.
Well, I'm so glad that the super text line is back up today, Dan. It's been a wild week for you.
It has been, and yesterday they cut me off of the super text line about halfway into the show. We were finally able to get back. I missed it. Anyway, so Matthew, let's talk about Israel first. And so I do find this interesting, and I love everything related to foreign policy. So you've got Israel attacking Iran and trying to weaken Iran to get Iran back to the negotiating table with Donald Trump, who says that he had nothing to do with it, but does support Israel and their ability to defend itself. So I don't know. You give me your first blush on all things going on this morning with Israel and Iran and Donald Trump.
Well, Dan, as a small L libertarian, I am concerned about any incursion into another country. The broader question is Iran funding threats to Israel? It is evident that is correct, that yes, that is happening. Israel has an opportunity and the skills to engage in these surgical strikes. I've been watching all morning. They are eliminating top military and nuclear targets. This is something that the American CIA could only dream about being able to do when toppling a foreign government. And so I hope whatever happens, and I am fairly confident that while President Trump may have known this was coming, he's obviously not involved in this, that there is a move toward peace in the Middle East. There are millions of Iranians who've lived in subjugation under an authoritarian, autocratic, theocratic regime for 50 years, and those individuals deserve freedom. Every human deserves human dignity and freedom and opportunity in their own country. And so whatever comes next, I certainly hope the people of Iran and the people of the Persian diaspora all over the world, Iranians who have fled their homes, are able to see an Iran that is free and that helps its people achieve their human potential.
You know, one of the worries with all of this, and I was reading a lot online because there are conservatives that I respect on all sides of this. So if Iran, if they end up sticking to their promise and fulfilling that promise of going after and attacking American interests and our bases in the region, and some of our men and women in uniform, Lord help them if they are killed, if any Americans end up losing their lives because of these Iranian strikes, if they end up striking us. Could that pull us into a broader battle with Iran? And then we've got, we got some people that are going to say, oh, we're going to be pulled into a forever war. You've got other people that are going to be called war hawks because you support defending American life in the Middle East. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think there's a difference in military adventurism where American troops are dropped into countries we don't need to be in, and defending American interests. There's sort of the Lindsey Graham strain of foreign policy, which is bomb everybody all the time. And then there is a reserved, realistic foreign policy. I think that protecting American troops and American interests is important. But I also think that President Trump ran on, in part, not getting us into forever wars and foreign entanglements. That's exactly why he has people like Pete Hegseth at Department of Defense and other places. And so I'm concerned about the potential to drag us into prolonged conflict in the Middle East. The special interest groups in Washington, D.C. on the talk show stations in this market have been for months talking about Israel going to war with Iran to gin up support. And so I'm just concerned that this will drag us into something that we don't want to be in, that the American people don't have the patience or the interest in, but there is an opportunity for Israel to address some of the long simmering disputes and things like Iran's nuclear program and their funding of terrorist threats in the region.
Yeah, I mean, they still have some of that Biden money left over, I'm sure. So that is also part of the conversation regarding the still implemented sanctions on Iran that Biden decided to ignore. And one of the interesting things about this conversation is that if the U.S. ultimately ends up having to get involved, which I hope that we don't, but we need to make it quick. We need to make it quick and fast as opposed to having this long, drawn-out thing, because it's my opinion, and maybe I'm wrong, but I've interviewed people that have said the same thing, which is that if Israel and America, but if we wanted to annihilate any possible military response from Iran, we could do it. And so I think that if we're going to respond, or if Israel is going to respond, they just need to go in hard and heavy and take care of all that very quickly so that it is just done. And then we can all move on.
That appears to be what's happening. And Iran launched, I think, 100 drones a few hours ago, and not a single drone made it to their intended destination. And I think, again, what we've seen is an IDF and a Mossad that is, these strikes are surgical. And this is the kind of response, if we're looking for one in the Middle East, that achieves its objectives, I hope.
Locally, Matthew Hurtt joining us. Locally, of course, it is Kilmar Abrego Garcia Appreciation Day. On the left, they are going to be out, I guess this is in front of whatever it is, City Hall or whatever, and they're going to be protesting the fact that Kilmar Abrego Garcia is being arraigned today. And so I've spent some time on the program this morning reminding Middle Tennessee who it is that the Democrats are trying to, and are, locally and across the country, wrapping their arms around. A guy who has been brought up on human trafficking related charges. Dude is a gang member. His wife, his own wife, has all of these police reports saying that he is a wife beater. They say the guys that he trafficked for years and years were really bad hombres. And the feds also say that he had a hand in the murder of a fellow gang member. All these, of course, alleged. So I don't know, your thoughts on the Democrats once again continuing with this Maryland narrative?
Well, this is actually a broader wave of protests this weekend, anti-ICE protests that what you're going to see in Nashville, anti-Flag Day protests. I'm under alert in my office this weekend because there are protests which are likely to become violent just across the street from me. They were protesting outside Heritage last week. And so this is part of a nationwide network of paid agitators who are getting others swept up, and the issues may not be the same at every protest. You've got the immigration issue in Nashville, particularly with Garcia being held there. We've got a lovely Flag Day parade tomorrow through Washington, D.C. The local news here is focused on the protests, which will likely descend into destruction of property and rioting. And so this is a nationwide network. I think there are a couple of dozen or so events. But a lot of these organizations, particularly in California, are being funded by taxpayers. One of the organizations on the ground in California that engages in these immigration protests receives $74 million from California taxpayers. So these are taxpayer-funded protests by paid and professional agitators, and that is something your listeners should be aware of. This is something that the American people do not have the patience for, and we're seeing over the last week this is just not especially popular with the American people. Okay,
we're going to, Matthew Hurtt is joining us. Matthew, coming up, we're going to talk about the issue that has given Chuck Schumer some tummy troubles. We'll talk about that straight ahead. 6:45, time to check the roads on WTN.
For the most part, things are looking good this morning. No problems coming in on 24 or 65. No unusual delays on 40 or 440. 840 running accident-free. I'm Christy O'Brien.
As far as your weather goes, today a high of 86, mixed clouds and sun, scattered and possible rain and storms today. As far as your weekend goes, rain on Saturday, a high of 83, Sunday, possible storms, and a high of 84. Appreciate you listening to Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk.
Without objection.
Mr. President, I just saw something that sickened my stomach. The manhandling of a United States senator. We need immediate answers to what the hell went on. I yield the floor.
There you go, Chuck Schumer having tummy troubles. It's not those raw hamburgers that he was cooking. It was what happened with this Senator Alex Padilla. So I'm sure that you've seen the video, Matthew Hurtt. Now, it seems like the Democrats are trying to say that he innocently wanted to politely raise his hand and ask some questions, when in reality, if you've seen the video, he was rushing Kristi Noem at the podium and screaming about how he had questions, but in reality, it sounded like he was making statements.
I mean, this is exactly the same thing that we just talked about, Dan. Senator Padilla knew what was going to happen. He is an agitator and a protester who comes up from left-wing organizing and activism. The issue that they're upset about, and everyone could send Senator Schumer a bottle of Pepto, is that he made this, he created this incident, and he did so to make the news. And so any of these instances where the left is showing up and showing out, as they say, are instances where they want this kind of coverage. He went into this event knowing this was going to happen. The response, I think, was justified in minimizing a threat. There's no telling what he was going to do if he had approached the podium successfully. And those law enforcement agents were doing their jobs in defending Secretary Noem. But the premise here is that Senator Padilla knew 100% what was going to happen when he went into that room. He planned that, and they reacted in a way to defend and secure the space. And now he is playing the victim, and Senator Schumer is trumpeting that on the Senate floor.
Well, I mean, I played some audio earlier of Elizabeth Warren, and she seemed close to tears. You've got all the Democrats in the House and the Senate that are screaming bloody murder on this, but I'm actually seeing where people on X are posting that there have been meetings within the Democrat Party where they are literally trying to get arrested so that they can prove that Donald Trump believes that he's a king. I mean, does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, so professional protesters on the left, they come in three kinds. There's red, orange, and green when they're on the ground at a protest or a riot. And the ones who are the reds are the ones who are willing to get arrested. Frequently, if you see large public action, they will have attorneys in the crowd who are immediately ready to process legal documents. But yes, this is something that we always see. Leftists are willing to get arrested. Our friends on the right who protest the Tea Party or an America First or MAGA rally, rarely people willing to get arrested. But the left has a level of activism that includes individuals who are willing to get arrested to then go through the system and make hay over their arrest. This is, again, this is certainly predictable, and it's something that we're going to see through the weekend.
Do you think that will resonate with the American people?
No.
Okay. It's so stupid, man. Like, it is just so stupid. I don't know. So they can't win on the issues. So let's purposely get arrested. I mean, they're just not very smart.
The American people post Summer of Love 2020, most Americans realize a lot of this stuff. I mean, there's a video from New York City of these two condescending white protesters or rioters who are keeping a black woman from being able to get to her job, and she gets out of the car and she says, "Please, I'm just trying to go to work." And they scoff at her. This is the kind of, people are tired of this kind of thing. And luckily we have outlets like yours and social media platforms that are exposing these individuals, and the patience for this kind of activity and behavior is really wearing thin.
So has it been fun to watch the left as they hyperventilate over, today we're talking about the Kilmer Abrego Garcia Appreciation Day. Literally on the flyer for the rally today, they have a big old picture of Kilmer Abrego Garcia. So they are making it about him. I mean, these organizations have a photo of him. So I'm sure that they're going to try and, sort of branch out and make it about, ICE and immigration and all these other things. But when you put the dude on your actual flyer, they are making it about him. Have you enjoyed watching the left, though, hyperventilate over what's going on tomorrow in Washington, D.C. with his military parade that also, by the way, happens to fall on Donald Trump's birthday? So now they're saying, oh, he thinks that he's a king.
Well, in Arlington, ICE is actually deploying a special response team, one of 5 locations across the country. My entire elected county board, or city council, as you might say in Nashville, Davidson County, they're left-wing activists. All 5 of them are left-wing activists. We're going to see a number of protests in Arlington and across the river in D.C. I'm deciding where I want to be. Everything is going to be, there's plenty of viral content that will be produced tomorrow, and I'm going to be somewhere on the ground, trying to get video and trying to see what's going on the ground, so I can talk with you about it maybe next week. And it's outrageous, and we're in D.C. now, so it's the summer of tourism. So you get a lot of high school groups and a lot of families who come through. A lot of folks will be swept into this through the weekend. I would not drive if I were in D.C. I would be very careful of your surroundings. It's probably going to be wild.
All right, can we talk Monday?
We can talk Monday.
All right, very good. Matthew Hurtt, how can people find you on X?
I'm on X at Matthew Hurtt, MattheHewHurtt.
All right, we'll talk Monday, and stay safe this weekend. It is 6:52.